Hey everybody, welcome back to another Jackson Jet Setting Resort review. Today we're back at the Disneyland Hotel, quickly becoming one of my favorite places to stay anywhere on Disney property. This is a classic built in the 1950s, and Disney of course has made plenty of renovations over the years. We stayed here last year, but now there have been even more changes and a lot of fun things going on for the 70th anniversary of Disneyland. So we're going to give you a full tour of the property as it is here in 2025. As well as the tour of our 3-bedroom suite that we stayed in on this trip. And we're also going to show you a little bit of the other rooms we've had here while staying on property, just to give you a full scope of everything that might be available to you here. We're going to start our tour here in the open air porte cochere. This is where you can drop your car off for valet or any luggage and then go and self-park. Self-parking is $40 a night, and I believe that valet is $70 a night plus tax. And as you'd expect, lots of lush plant life around the hotel. If you're walking from downtown Disney, you'd enter under the stylized Sorcerer Mickey hat, which is pretty fun, done up for the 70th here. But if you're walking in from dropping your car off, this is how you'll enter this custom carpet for the 70th, which is really fun. And then the normal map that I really love of Disneyland is covered up here for a stylized little welcome for the 70th anniversary. So lots of fun decorations here. There are 4 towers here at the Disneyland Hotel, and the main lobby that we're walking into is located in the Fantasy Tower. This is one of the 2 closest buildings to the Downtown Disney access point and then on to Disneyland and Disney's California Adventure. So if you're looking to kind of reduce that walk at the end of the night, I would recommend staying in the Adventure Tower or the Fantasy Tower, but none of the 4 towers are really all that far from anything. I love the lobby here though, with the stylized teacup seats here. Fun place to wait for anything that's maybe being done at the front desk, and then a nice little waiting area for the kiddos as well. I remember as a kid being all excited that they had cartoons in the lobby for me when my parents were checking in at Disney World, so love that they kept that up. Behind that celebration of the 70th, they have a few photos of some famous folks that have been to Disneyland over the years, bringing in all of that history. This hotel has been around since nearly the beginning, so it has a lot of history of its own. 2 shops here. You have the It's a Small World Sundry shop and then the Fantasia shop, which is sort of your more traditional gift shop. Entrances from both outside and the lobby. I like the outside sign more, but you're going to have all of your Disneyland merchandise as well as some Trader Sam's merchandise, the fun bar that we'll get to in just a minute that's here at the Disneyland Hotel. Lots of fun Disneyland Hotel specific items in here as well. Now, Disney can be quite an expensive vacation, but do make sure that you bring a Disney Visa card, debit, or credit card with you. And if you pay with that at the gift shop, you get a 10% discount on merchandise, most merchandise at least. They do have a Villas at Disneyland Hotel preview center here. They have a DVC tower that we'll show you in just a bit, and that's located right next to the convention center area. Lots of big conventions here. I've actually gone to a convention here in the past. Very fun to just have some business done here at the Disneyland Hotel. Always fun to do that. They have a lot of history on the walls in here too, so it's actually kind of fun to walk through even if you're not here for a convention. It's located just off the main lobby, so very convenient, and maybe saves you a walk outside of maybe some of the inclement weather that they're known for in Southern California. Completely joking, is happening. You can walk through here instead. But yeah, a lot of history on the walls. They had this fun little photo booth that I saw that I had not seen before on my previous days. And just beyond that is this main atrium here. So there's a number of different conference rooms on the 2nd level, as well as a few restaurants that we'll check out in just a second. Did want to show you upstairs though, in case you're planning a conference or maybe a wedding or something. This is where a lot of that will happen, sort of your ballrooms and things like that. Lots of fun Disneyland art on the walls as well, letting you know exactly where you are. And up those stairs there is actually some guest parking, so they do have a small garage for any self-parking needs, but they do have a large lot. That's where we parked our car in our visit, so just keep in mind you have a few different options for self-parking here. One of the nicer rooms here upstairs is the Sleeping Beauty Pavilion. This is going to have views of the pool area and sort of the outdoor square that the 4 towers create. But now we'll head back downstairs, check out some of the artifacts down in the lobby. I love the Autopia car here. Great spot for photos. They have a little history exhibit here sponsored by Honda, the sponsor of the attraction. One new thing here that I didn't get to try out during our visit is the Broken Spell Lounge. This is a Sleeping Beauty themed bar. Not a ton of changes from what it was before. This is the old Steakhouse 55 lounge, and I do hope that they open up Steakhouse 55 again in the future. That was the Resort Steakhouse, one of my favorite places to dine when I was here during college and coming to visit the resort when I wasn't in class or playing hooky. Goofy's Kitchen, though, is still open, and this is an awesome spot for breakfast and brunch. It's got a whole character meal involved, and of course Goofy is involved in that. They have this nice picture area for fun little cartoon photos of Goofy's Kitchen. And then you have a full buffet in the morning, so do a little quick walkthrough here, just showing you all the different examples of food that you might have. These character breakfasts can run a little high price-wise, and they are quite popular, so I do recommend booking well in advance. Restaurant bookings open 60 days in advance at the Disneyland Resort. You don't need a park reservation or a hotel reservation to make those reservations, so on the Disneyland app or on the website, I do recommend making that 60 days on the dot. If you're someone who doesn't want to remember all of these details and you'd rather have someone plan your trip for you, we plan Disney trips all the time at Jackson Jet Setting. You can reach out to us at jacksonjetsetting.com/book for a free quote for your Disneyland stay. We'll handle all the details for you. Lots of outdoor areas here at the Disneyland Resort to explore. The weather's just so nice here compared to Florida, so they do a lot of stuff outdoors in Southern California. The Coffee House is the coffee shop here at the Disneyland Hotel. It's open in the morning from 6 a.m. until about 4 p.m. in the afternoons. It was redone in the last year. They threw a fresh coat of paint on there, and they have some nice topiaries nearby as well. Now it's time to journey and explore a few more of the resort's restaurants available to you. This resort is just so fun to walk through. I love all the plants here, all the music playing. It changes based on the theme of the hotel tower that you're near. And this hotel, because it is sort of embedded in the 50s, has a distinctive tiki vibe, tiki bar vibe. I love that they have continued this because that became very popular in the 50s after World War II, and it just really puts this hotel on the map for me. We're going to explore these pool areas in detail a little further on in the video, but the bridge does cross them, so I did want to detail how awesome those photos are. Great spot for photos. Tangaroa Terrace is going to be a kind of mixed-use restaurant. You have a bar walk-up service right here, as well as a few bar stools open later in the day. And then you do have a counter service restaurant. You can do mobile ordering here for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So it's a very convenient option for you if you're heading into the parks. The line can get a little long in the morning, so just pack your patience a little bit. But I do like walking through here, all the colors on the wall. A few different seating options available inside as well, and outside on the terrace overlooking the pool. I've dined here a bunch over the years, and throwing in a few clips from different things I've eaten. The Tangaroa toast that's shaped like Mickey Mouse is amazing. I had the poke bowl this trip, and it definitely hit the spot. Very high quality. A little expensive at $26, but pretty good. And some of the lunch items, like the burgers, are pretty darn good as well. So you can come out and enjoy those on the patio, grab a drink later in the day, and just enjoy the Disneyland Hotel in its finest. But walking through right now, doing my tour early in the morning, you're not going to see really anyone out here, which was great for photos, but normally these are quite busier environments. Sharing the same building is Trader Sam's Enchanted Tiki Bar. This is one of the most popular bars at the Disneyland Resort in general. The inside portion especially, it's the coolest bar, I think. I think it's just so much fun. I was able to just grab a spot on the outdoor patio this time, but indoors, especially seated at the bar comes alive when people order certain drinks. The bartenders are absolutely amazing. The windows out to Polynesia do certain things throughout the day, so it's very, very fun. It's a very cool vibe in there. The menu there themed like you're an explorer, and really delicious food. I thought that the food was really great, and of course the drinks being tiki inspired, quite strong and delicious. The vibes here at night, of course, being stronger than during the day, so I do recommend stopping by in the evening. Right next door is going to be the Rose Garden. This is a big event area, big place for weddings, of course. Going to be an expensive wedding, but a very nice wedding if you are able to attend. Lots of privacy here, which is fun. Lots of hedges kind of blocking view, making it feel nice and private. And then you have the Adventure Lawn here for larger events as well. The plants around here near the Adventure Tower, pretty nice. I love that the plant life kind of feels like you're on the Jungle Cruise. Horticulture team here just absolutely knocking it out of the park. And then Depending on what tower you're in, the carpet changes walking to your room. So in the Adventure Tower, you're going to see lots of adventure-themed carpeting. Over at the Frontier Tower, which is where we stayed, they have a geyser, which is really cool. The Frontier Tower, each tower having this sort of Disneyland-inspired attraction poster, making you feel like you are staying right in the park. And even Mickey with his Davy Crockett coonskin hat is right here at the tower, which is really fun. And then behind the building, you have the DVC Preview Center, so they actually have a model set up for you to tour, I believe, of the Polynesian villas that just opened up at Disney World. That's what they're selling right now. So you can check that out. You might get a free gift for doing a tour, so definitely always stop by and see what they're offering. It doesn't take too much time, and usually it's a pretty stress-free presentation. Now let's explore the pools. So you have the Minnie Mouse hot tub right there. You see her bow there. And then, of course, the monorail slides, which I think is the most popular aspect of this pool area. This is a pretty cool spot, even for the little kids like my son here. They have little fountains set up and kind of about knee-deep water in certain spots. So it's good for all ages, even if they're not tall enough for the slides, which I really liked. They have 2 smaller slides at the bottom for the kiddos, and then little kiddos at least. And then the yellow slide's going to be sort of the mid-level slide, a little bit less extreme than the orange monorail, which is going to have a lot of twists and turns and end into a deeper pool. So fun that they have different levels for the kids to level up as you keep coming back year after year. Now, all of the chairs here were really impressive. They had nice plushness to them. They had towels set up for everyone already rolled up on the sun loungers, so I really did like that luxury touch here at the Disneyland Hotel. They were checking people's wristbands, making sure that no one was in the pool area that shouldn't be there, which is nice. And now we're walking underneath the Villas Tower here, and they've built a new restaurant within the last 2 years or so when this tower opened. This is the Palm Breeze Bar, and this is going to be your pool bar, your pool food. Nothing like all that incredible of a menu. You can always check the Disneyland app for current menus, but overall we have not ever dined there. But we were about to this trip and just weren't all that impressed with the excitement, I guess, of the menu with so many different food options. But it is available here and a convenient option if you're hanging out by the pool all day. The cool thing of this area, though, being the Villa Tower themed to animation, is the Mickey Mouse splash pad. Themed to Steamboat Willie, my kid absolutely loved this. When it's turned on, there's lots of fun little colors going on. The smokestacks go at certain times. I just love the theming of this. They really spent a lot of time and effort on this. So I do think if you have the younger kids, they're going to love that. And then you have the other pool over here. This is the pallet pool, and there is another hot tub in the corner over there. So this is going to be the artist palette, basically, and it's kind of shaped like that. So pretty fun option there. Now walking around the monorail slides here, there's going to be the main pool available at the Disneyland Resort. And you're going to see this from pretty much every tower. It's going to be quite popular during the day. Now if you do want some reserved space near the pool, they do have cabanas available. Those can range in price based on the time of year. And I like that the pool flows underneath the bridge. This used to be themed to Peter Pan when I was in college, and they've completely redone the pool area. I think it's a lot better, though I do wish that they had some, pirate ship Peter Pan stuff still going on. This pool area seemed a little bit less themed than like the full monorail section that we just walked through, but kids absolutely love the pool, of course. Plenty of lifeguards around. Disney very intense about safety, of course, so that's always great. Restrooms available in the pool area, and then you can always grab food at the Tangaroa Terrace and bring it down to your sun lounger. So lots of options for seating around here. And then you have the Mickey Mouse hot tub here as well. You can see his ears making the Mickey silhouette. So one last look at the pool area before we go explore a few more areas here at the resort. I know I've shown you a little bit of the Fantasy Tower. Now we're going to go explore the villas at the Disneyland Resort, the newest tower available here. I arrived early in the morning to get some shots of the lobby, so you're not going to see many people in this, which is great. Don't like to bother people on vacation, just like to shoot this content for y'all. And if you do like this type of content, if you love Disney content, if you love resort tours, that sort of thing, please consider subscribing to the channel or at least liking this video. It really helps us out. So this tower is the DVC tower on property. Number of different room options available. You have something as small as a studio suite where you actually have a Murphy bed as your main bed, and it folds up and creates a living room space. Quite small, but if you're coming in just as 2 people and you're hitting the parks and not spending a ton of time in the room, that's a pretty good option. And all the way up to a 3-bedroom, 2-story suite, which our suite actually overlooked. And I had a lot of envious thoughts about that room. But the Villa Tower does have a few fun touches, like different Disney films that are averaged through color going up the side of the building, which I thought is really cool. It's also where you're going to find the guest laundry as well as the gym, so I do want to show a few shots of that. If you want to come on property and do a few loads of laundry if you're here on a longer stay, it's not going to be included in your stay, but it is available to you, which is really nice. Not every hotel has this available for guests, and it's nice and convenient, lots of machines. So arriving a little bit early in the morning or maybe later in the evening, you're going to experience a little bit better of an experience, I think, than kind of going during that rush hour when people are back from the parks and need to do their loads of laundry, etc. So now let's walk inside through the main entrance of the tower. Love the Disneyland Hotel mat walking in there. And just a beautiful lobby. Lots of touches with tons of Disney characters. Again, the inspiration here is the Disney animated artist and all of the characters that they've created. So I love the studio feel of this place. Lots of different maquettes and things that are recreated from what the animators actually used to create all the stories that we come to the Disney parks for. So this is a really fun tower to stay in. You don't have to be a DVC member to stay here. You can rent them directly from Disney. Since this is a newer tower, the rooms themselves are going to be newer. They're going to have all the latest bells and whistles. So they're going to be more in the style of what rooms Disney has been creating over the past couple years. So just keep that in mind. If you're looking for kind of the newest room available on property, this is going to be the tower that you're going to want to look for. But even if you're not staying in this tower, definitely come and look at all the Disney art, check it out, walk through the pool areas. It's just really a lot of fun. I love looking at everything in this lobby. Now, if you're coming in to use the gym, if you're staying here at the Disneyland Hotel, no matter what tower you're staying in, you're going to come into this tower and use the gym. The gym itself, very nice. Again, being about 2 years old, it's going to have all of the latest, including Peloton bikes. You have water, you have different small snacks that they have available. So really cool that they provide all of that here. This is definitely like a 4 or 5-star hotel gym experience, which I'm always very impressed by. And if you are staying here on property, you do want to know that if you are an early riser and you want to go do something cool in the parks, they have extra charge fitness experiences early in the morning and then sometimes like later in the evenings. So like yoga in the parks, a fast walk through the parks. Very fun stuff. We haven't had a chance to do that, but I do want to do that on a future trip. Now let's go and explore the Frontier Tower a little bit more. So this is the tower that we stayed in on this trip. We had a 3-bedroom suite. We weren't really sure what tower we would be assigned to or kind of the bed setup because Disney kind of fits that to your party that you have assigned to the room. But the Frontier Tower itself is really cool. I really liked staying here because of the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad model here in the lobby. I liked all the art on the wall too. Frontierland, one of my favorite lands at Disneyland. So it was fun to stay here. A little bit longer of a walk, as I mentioned, to the parks, but the tower itself was quite quiet, which was really nice. But down in the lobby, if you don't have a microwave in your room due to a medical reason, you have one to use and share with the rest of the tower, which I think is a nice convenient option. Then you do have restrooms down in the basement. So our room was on the 9th floor, and as you can see, we have double doors, which is always a fun thing to have with a room. And that room over there to the left was also ours. So basically 3 interconnected rooms that can be combined into this 3-bedroom suite experience that we had. So we all had different numbers. It didn't really matter what number we told people. It all was linked together into one folio. So just keep that in mind. And so let's start our tour here in the small atrium in between 2 of the bedrooms that leads into the main bedroom here. This is the one that's going to be connected to the living room. It's going to have a lot of fun areas to spread out and enjoy. You're going to have this little dry and wet bar here. So a fun place to entertain. 3 bench chairs there for eating, dining, drying bottles if you have a young kid. And then you have a wet bar over here in the corner with some glassware, nothing in the cabinets there, so no cooking equipment or anything like that in this suite. If you do want that, you're gonna have to go over to the DVC tower that I showed you earlier. We do have a small half bath here, which is great. So fun if you're entertaining guests and things like that. They have their own restroom. And then a small closet with some extra pillows and blankets for the pull-out couch. And I've said this before in other videos, Disney has some of the best fold-out couches and Murphy bed situations. They know that people are sharing rooms. They know that lots of adults are spread out in their rooms, trying to fit as many people comfortably as possible, and they do an amazing job. So don't be afraid of the pull-out couches. They're actually quite comfortable. Television over there, and then another shot of the bar area. There is a small desk area available here as well in case you are doing any work on property or if you need a place to store some items coming in back from the parks. So now in the main bedroom, pretty large bedroom here, nice oversized king bed. Then you have a quote from Cinderella there on the throw pillow. And the baseboard has a music box that plays the song with fiber optic fireworks above it, which is just really amazing. Here's our view of the pool area from the main bedroom. And then that chair again. And then the exit out to the living room. Large bureau for storing any clothes during your visit. Lots of art on the wall from Walt Disney, walking through the parks. And then a fairly large bathroom here. You have a 2-sink vanity, lots of towels underneath, mirror, and then a closet over to the left. Mickey hands holding the lamps, which is really a great touch. Some more pillows and blankets there. You have an ironing board, you have the safe, some laundry bags, and the luggage storage racks that seem to never fit the modern suitcases. And then a separate area with the toilet, the tub, and the shower. Some multi-use shampoos and conditioners there in the shower as well. And plenty of towels in this area too. Now making our way to bedroom number 2. So the bathroom is going to be located right as you enter here. Just one sink in this room. Similar stylings though, and then you're going to have a bathtub and shower as well as the toilet in its separate area there. Small closet over to the left. And then this room is actually going to be located basically in the corner of the building, which is really nice. That couch pulls out as well, so you can squeeze a lot more people than we did. We fit 3 separate families in here, basically super comfortably, but you can definitely fit at least 11 adults in these 3 bedrooms, which is pretty impressive. Desk area here as well, and then a balcony. We're going to show you some views of the balconies as well. It's the only bad thing I think about the location of this suite is that we really didn't have prime views of like the parks or anything like that. You're going to want to be in the Fantasy Tower or the Adventure Tower for that. I'll show you some views of the fireworks that we had from the room as well. It's going to be similar to a lot of the views that you'll have if you are in the Frontier Tower. Third bedroom here having 2 queen beds. And then a split bathroom for this room. So you're going to have toilet over here to the right with the shower and tub. And then the sinks over to the other side of the hallway that leads out to the main hallway. So everyone has their own private entrance to their room, and then the 2 bedrooms over here on this side can connect. And everyone has their own bathrooms, making it super, super easy for everyone to enjoy the parks, kind of being on different schedules. You don't have to disturb everyone else in the room. So it's definitely a convenient option for families, larger families that are coming to the Disneyland Resort. Balconies are oversized. Didn't really use these much though. Not a great view from our balcony, and only a few chairs. Most rooms don't have balconies here at the Disneyland Hotel, so it is kind of rare to have this, which is, nice, but the balconies over at the DVC Tower are just going to be a lot better if you are someone who enjoys that fresh air. Still nice to have, though. And the view from the main bedroom that I showed you first has a great view of the pool, so that was really, really nice. At Turndown, it's really cool. They set up the room for all of that. They turn on the fiber optics. They give you these delicious chocolates that were surprisingly delicious, honestly. And then we had a great view of the fireworks. Not the best view that you possibly could have. The Adventure Tower is the one that features the Concierge Lounge. And that's right there on the top floor corner. So you're going to have the best view from there. But you are able to listen to the fireworks music directly from your television. So it's all synced up. Really a lot of fun if you don't want to hang out in the parks during that, because it does get quite busy. Now on our last day we stayed in the Fantasy Tower, and I do want to show you what a standard bedroom in this tower looks like. So this fit a lot of people in the room as well. It was a decent size, so yeah, basically If you've seen my older video, this is the same room from that, but I won't talk you through this room. It's very, very similar in styling to some of the other bedrooms that I've already showed you in this video, but just gives you a little bit more of a different room type available to you here at the Disneyland Hotel. Once we're done walking through this room, I'll come back and show you how to access Downtown Disney and the early entry. So in the mornings, we have 30 minutes of early entry at one of the two theme parks here at the Disneyland Resort. You have a semi-private entrance to Downtown Disney. It was always very quick to access from this area. You walk underneath the Sorcerer Mickey hat that I showed you earlier in the video, and you can either head straight to the monorail station and ride the monorail directly into Tomorrowland at opening, which is a nice convenient option if you don't want to walk. So the parks basically alternate each day, so you do want to check the calendar and make sure that you have early entry on the day of your visit if you want to take advantage of this perk. I'd arrive at least 30 minutes before that early entry time to get in the front of the pack and try and get a few rides in before the rest of the crew arrive. And finally, don't sleep on the fun stuff to do in Downtown Disney, which is located right outside the Disneyland Hotel. So, thanks a lot for watching this full tour of the Disneyland Hotel, and we'll see you on the next video.